High School, the Panthers take on the Seabreeze Sand Crabs. Gorgeous night for football. No rain in the forecast, so in my opinion, that's what makes it even better, guys.
Absolutely.
We don't want rain at this temperature.
For those of you who are unaware, you're listening to three gentlemen who are undefeated this high school football season. And I have a funny feeling we're going to walk away with yet another win, guys.
Absolutely. And there'll be zero issues
to address.
Yeah, zero.
It is senior night for the Sand Crabs. They're decked out in their black helmets, red on red this evening. Nice Panthers in gold helmets, white on white. Guys, let's take a look at tonight's two teams. Both teams, Coach Oakham, having a bit of a down year. And I don't want to say that they've been having a few down years in a row or anything like that, but Nice comes in at 4-5, Seabreeze at 3-6. Nice not headed to the playoffs, but the Sand Crabs are fortunate enough with their 3 wins being district wins to head to the playoffs. Down year for both teams, or is this kind of where we've been going for a while with these two schools?
Well, the records are indicating that they're not playing their regular season competition to the level of success that they have in the past, but I think success can get determined here in the next few weeks for the Sand Crabs if they could get past Edgewater next week, which I know we'll talk about later. They'd have a chance to rematch with Mainland, and certainly that would put them in a position to determine the level of success in their season. But to answer your question, yeah, I think it's a bit of a down year for them.
Coach Kraus, in his first year at the helm with the Panthers, he's in a bit of a district that's not all that easy, Coach Oakham. He's got Bartram Trail, who was the district runner-up, Creekside and Matanzas from just up 95, and St. Augustine. St. Augustine seems to be that constant in that district.
And they have for many, many years, and I suppose they probably still will as long as Joey Wiles is, and they're great talent at St. Augustine High School. And the building of the new schools, whether it's geographically the reason, but for some reason that has not affected the production of St. Augustine year after year.
Last week the Panthers lost to Bartram Trail 14-0, but we've touched on the school being in a bit of a down year, but it hasn't always been the case for the Panthers. In 2005, some guy named Tim Tebow led them to a state championship at a 13-2 record. They beat New Smyrna Beach. Were you the coach?
No, I was not, but I was at that game. I got to see Tim Tebow play defensive tackle and whatever else he needed to do that night to beat New Smyrna on a bad ankle.
In 2006, they went 14-1. They beat Seabreeze High School 24-14 in the regional final at Nice High School. The following year, 2007, they beat Seabreeze again by a score of 23-12. Ended up losing in the state championship to Miami, Washington. And in 2008, they went 7-4. They lost to Orange Park Ridgeview, losing in that regional semifinal. They could have faced Seabreeze for a 3rd straight year. So again, it's a bit of a down year. It's only a few short years away, but they really haven't seem to turn the corner much because, if I'm not mistaken, they've been through a few coaches as well.
Well, I think they have, and I think Coach Allen mentioned this the other day. I think there's been some new schools that have affected Allen Nice's, I guess, selection of athletes. Some of their athletes have gone to some of those new schools, and that's always tough to overcome.
Coach Allen, on the other side of the ball, the Seabreeze Sand Crabs again at 3-6. They're 3-1 in their district. We all know that they played Deltona. There's Mainland, who won the district championship last week against these Sand Crabs. New Smyrna Beach and Pine Ridge. Under Coach Beach in his 14th year, we've seen about 4 games, and Sand Crabs not really playing Seabreeze type football.
I don't think they're playing the football that we've become accustomed to seeing them play, but each year's a little different deal. You know, you go from one year to the next. It's hard to maintain it. We've talked about becoming a bit of a victim of your own success. You put a target on yourself when you have success and you beat people. You become a feather in their cap to beat you. If you go to the flip side with Coach Kraus and his group, I think the difference is it's his first year. Same with Coach Rip at Matanzas. You survive your first year. You're not going to go in and set the world on fire in your first year, because chances are if they had those kind of kids, their job probably wouldn't have been open. Right. So Seabreeze, on the other hand, has had a lot of consistency. They've had some great football players. They have a great tradition. Not even a little bit to do with the gentleman that's standing between us. So I think there's an expectation, and when the expectation is created, it allows the talking heads like ourselves to lend and say, hey, maybe this is not as good as it's been. Maybe it's a disappointing season. But as Coach Yoakum just said, Seabreeze, I think, had a 4-and year maybe 5 or 6 years ago and made it to state semifinals. So the football is yet to be played, the football that matters. All the stuff that's gotten us to this point is just, it's just football. So I think they've gotten better with their quarterback coming back, with Jeremiah coming back. And, I think this is a winnable game, and I think it puts a little bit better taste in their mouth. We'll see.
Speaking of Jeremiah Warren, the Sand Crabs have only scored 144 points all year. That in itself is shocking, but in the last 2 games that we've seen Seabreeze, totally different team, and it's been because of the play of Jeremiah, or the return rather of Jeremiah Wilson, and his return has uplifted a lot of the other players around him.
No doubt about that. I mean, it's a quarterback-driven offense. In Mark's way that he likes to play and call football games makes it a quarterback-driven offense. And if you just go down that list of names that have pulled the trigger for Seabreeze, I think you'd find some really good ones, some really good kids and athletes, and some pretty good ones who were made good by the likes of Thad Busby and and Mark himself or whatnot. So that they coach their guys up real well. And they need to have them to run their screen games. I think one of the biggest differences is that we've noticed watching them 3 or 4 times, it's not just that the quarterback was not there. They don't have the downfield threats on the outside. Those guys aren't just running by people. And if you're not scaring people into maybe getting two guys up down the hash and staying deep and keeping them out of the box, they're not scaring anybody that way. And anybody who's watching the tapes, and Coach Krause talked to me about this tonight, that they are very aware that they don't feel like they have those type of threats. So it's a combination, but they did look a lot better last week. I'll be interested to see how they play this week. Coach Melacrino wants them to think out of the box. I'm not sure what box that is or what box he wants them to jump into, but you do what you do, and you do what you know, and that's kind of how you go about it. So I think what we'll see is a little bit more of the Seabreeze team that we saw last week and how they want to play. They're going to run their screens. They're going to get run under screens. They're going to run the football. They're going to try to run the football. I think their big 6, you've got Summers, Jeremiah, obviously Dunnigan's going to have to play well on defense. I think that Bubba and your main man Strokes are going to have to do a good job in the back, because I think these guys will test them back there. I would. And there's just, Hamilton has played well. They've got a core of about 7 guys that those guys are going to show up tonight. They're going to show up tonight and play well.
Coach Oakham, on the other side of the ball, what do you think Nice is going to have to do to come away with a win here tonight?
Well, I think they'll have to take really good care of the football, and I think they'll need to play well in their special teams. Don't know much about their specialists, but I believe that all well-matched games are almost always decided with kicking game and turnover. So it'll be interesting to see how those things turn out tonight.
1 minute and 30 seconds remaining before we kick this thing off. We're going to take a time out to listen to the national anthem. The national anthem just before kickoff between the Seabreeze Sandcrabs and the Nice Panthers. This is the final regular season game for both of these teams. Only one of them is moving on, and that's Seabreeze High School. Coach Oakham, last week we watched Mainland defeat Seabreeze. Seabreeze will now have to go on the road to face District 10 champion Edgewater. Edgewater is 7-2 at the moment. They're hosting Boone tonight because they defeated Southlake 55-44. They are the district champion. What do the Sandcrabs have to look forward to in that contest?
Well, I think it sounds like it's a good thing it's not going to be a track meet, because I think they probably can run much faster than the Sandcrabs. First round playoff games are always exciting. You don't know what the strength of a particular district has been. All scores indicate that Edgewater is going to be a team that can move the ball and score some points. So Seabreeze is going to have to be on their toes there. Hopefully they'll come out of tonight's game completely healthy and have a good week of practice and get ready to get after those guys next week.
Coach Allen, is this typically one of those games where you keep your fingers crossed and, like Coach Oakham said, everybody gets out of here with no bumps and bruises?
I don't know if it's that, but I do know that it's the hardest week to get your football team prepared to play, without question. You've just played your rival. Your playoff status is secure. It's kind of a not meaningless, but it's a dead week. And I bet you if you ask both of these clubs, I bet you that the bunch in white from Allen Nice had a better week of practice than the bunch in red, because this is all they have to play for. They can make this, in effect, their playoff game, their bowl game. Whereas the Crabs, they know they've got bigger fish to fry, and the kids aren't dumb. They know what it is, and it's not just the kids; it's the coaches as well. Coaches are, I would wager to say that Coach Beach and his staff have baby pictures of the Edgewater players.
Sure.
And they have seen them all the way since birth, and they've seen 50 games on them, and they're sneaking around, getting that in and watching that during the week, and their minds are, looking ahead at the bigger picture. So I think it's a hard week to get your team prepared to play.
These two teams met last year on November 8th, 2013 at Nice High School. Seabreeze won that game 37-7. A couple people that played in last year's game. Gage Van Diver had a 2-yard touchdown run, and Sammy Hayworth connected on a 34-yard field goal. Coach Oakham, I know that Sammy Hayworth is one of your favorites, and you still believe that he is this team's MVP.
Well, I think he's kept them in some games that they wouldn't have been close in without his kicking, and I believe you pointed out he may have scored all the points last week against Mainland High School.
One of them was a 45-yarder.
Right. I just don't see anybody on either side of the ball, offense or defense, from Seabreeze that just jumps out as the dominant force out there. But when Hayward gets up there to kick the ball or punt the ball, usually good things happen for the Sandcrabs. The
pregame meeting between the two teams had captains Rashad Floyd, Jeremiah Wilson, Cole Dunnigan, and Will Roth for the Sandcrabs. The Panthers went with the intimidation factor, sending out offensive linemen, defensive linemen, James Carey, Noah Van Almen, and Marcus Gibbons. The Panthers take the field across from us, and we're waiting for the Sandcrabs to do the same. Taking a look quickly at a couple of the games going on in the area. The first one, Coach Oakham, you got it. Flagler Palm Coast at 7-2 travels to Spruce Creek. They're 5-4. Spruce Creek started way high and kind of finished blah.
Kind of leveled out, yes they did. Caesar Campana, Coach Allen, are they in the playoffs this year?
Yes, sir. They are the runner-up. They'll travel to Lake Mary.
Well, I think everything you said about getting ready for this game is probably true for that game as well. Spruce Creek probably they know it's over after tonight, and Coach Campana's getting ready for those playoffs. But I still think the Palm Coast Bulldogs will have enough to take the Hawks.
Coach Oakham, sticking with you. Mainland 9-0 travels down to Fort Pierce Central. Fort Pierce is 4-4. That's kind of a surprise to me because growing up, I always thought that Fort Pierce Central was just a powerhouse down there. it's been many years when Joey Wiles, that was Joey the coach at Central or Westwood. He was at one of those two schools down there. And I know that they had so many players that had to turn sideways to walk through the door. They were so big, and I expect they'll have some big size, but I doubt they'll have seen the speed of Mainland. I'll take the Bucks. Coach Allen, 3-6 Atlantic, travels to Matanzas at 2-6. You kind of have personal ties to both sides.
Yeah, I think if you're going to start talking about the personal ties to these schools that we're talking local games, me and Coach Oakham are going to have to excuse ourselves. But I do, and I would love, in my heart, I would love to see Coach Ripley get that win. But I do know that Atlantic's played better of late, and I think Coach Smith has kind of got them going a little bit. So it should be a great matchup. I'll take Matanzas.
Nice getting set to kick off. That's Neil Patel back deep for the Sandcrabs, number 6, Ratavia Sanders, and R.J. Stokes.
Ooh, here we go.
Nice goes with a surprise onside.
Play by Bubba Ballish.
Bubba Ballish on the recovery. Good heads-up play. The Sandcrabs will get the ball 1st and 10 from their 38-yard line.
There's the first example, I think, right there of just letting it all hang out from the Nice side. Was starting the game with the onside kick, and good heads-up play by the Sandcrabs to recover.
Coach Oakham, have you ever started a game that way? Started a game that way?
I don't recall ever starting a game that
Coach
way.
Allen?
Maybe one. Maybe one.
Jeremiah Wilson in the shotgun set.
4 3/4.
Wilson's going to go.
Mark Beats like quarters coverage.
Oh, to the air. First play of the game. Number 80, Nick Nerschel. In and out of his hands. It'll bring up second down for the Crabs.
Coach Oakham, if that's that's kind of a standard of a number of 4-3 guys. I'm sure you've done it a lot yourself. Seabreeze did a bunch of that for a long time, and I think that the Sandcrab. I just think that Mark understands that, right? I think he's going to know where to go, the buttons to push to get it if his kids will execute. I know he's got plays for that.
Yeah, I coached about 30 years before I knew what quarter coverage was.
Right. I've actually played it and still don't know what it is, Coach.
And we eventually ended up playing some quarter halves, and I never did know if we were doing it exactly right. But anyway, I think you're right. I think Coach Beach will know just what he wants to try to accomplish against that defense, and it looks like it's pretty standard. They're going to line up in it. Just looks like every down so far. Here we go, Coach.
Yeah.
Scott Summers, big carry for the Sandcrabs. A lot of yards. Picks up the first down. Takes it across midfield. Wilson back to throw, in and out of the hands again.
Ooh.
Another receiver in and out of his hands. That's Rashad Floyd. Coach Allen, do you think these guys, they've had a couple weeks to get used to it, but do you think they're just not used to seeing the ball with that much zip?
I think what's happening is throwing a pass that's 2 yards down the field, and it's taking
at 100 miles an hour?
about 2 seconds, and it's going too fast, and he's still getting hit. So there's a number of issues going on here. I don't think they trust their pass protection to get the ball down the field. I don't think they have the players who run well enough to do so, and they're going to have to find some answers for that because Jeremiah's not going to be able to throw the ball laying down.
2nd and 10 for the Sandcrabs. Wilson on a quick screen. In and out of the hands, but this time the receiver kept it. That's Jamel Fleming. Spins out of one tackler, races up the sideline, down the sideline rather, and picks up the first down for Seabreeze.
I think that's the first time we've seen Seabreeze with a trips alignment, and there really was not that much of an adjustment. They still left the corner and the safety over here on the single receiver side, and so Mark had the numbers, went wide to the wide side of the field, picked up a nice play.
I'm not sure what they're thinking. We're a little better here, but you keep that safety inside the hash mark on the top side, and I know he becomes a down player. Eventually he becomes a down player. He doesn't seem to provide you much help on a crosser when there's 3-by-1, and I always like to teach that. I'll play a lot of cover 2 and teach that backside safety. You have to understand that number 2 or number 3 from this side is a threat to you. He can get somehow on you because that little laser out back there about the 10-yard line from number 2 or number 3, with that safety down into the boundary there, he'll never get to it. So you occupy one with this one, number 2, and then number 3 just scooches over there. It's not going to take Mark long to run post sail against this either.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. Some sort of a wheel route, something going on there.
Senior offensive lineman Dan Sutton called for illegal procedure. Moves the Sand Crabs back 5 yards. It's first down over, 1st and 15. Summers again on the carry. This time he's not going to spin out of any tacklers. There's about 5 Panthers in on the play. Hey, coaches. Coach Oakham, you first. How tough are these games? Because it's senior night and you want to make sure everybody plays. Because we've called the name first play of the game, and he hasn't played all year that we've seen him. So how is it tough, these games?
There's been years, and this is a great time for Mark if he wants to start a bunch of seniors in a game that, as Coach Allen said, doesn't have a great deal of significance to it. It'd be a good time to do that sort of thing. But, yeah, I didn't ever like all those extra activities. I realize how important they are.
Got him blocked.
Rashad Floyd on the speed sweep, and he's going to be met by a host of Panthers. But is that a case, Coach Allen, where it's probably a good idea that these guys are getting reps because you don't know what's going to happen. If somebody goes down, then you got to put a kid who hasn't played all year long. So this is not so much a game of insignificance, but a game of practice for these guys to get the reps.
I think they're practicing all the time because the reps are practice. However, I never went into a game, and I loved every senior that's ever played for me. But he wasn't more important than our team, and he wasn't more important than we were trying to get done. And if there was an opportunity for a senior who wasn't good enough to be the player who needed to play all the time, and that opportunity didn't present itself as we get a great run here.
That's Scott Summers on the carry from 25 yards out, touchdown Seabreeze. We've seen him before in the backfield, but we haven't seen him with this much giddy up. The Sand Crabs are on the board 6-0. Sammy Hayworth will come in to attempt the point after.
But Bill, back to the point of the seniors. I know it's senior night and we recognize the seniors. You give them something nice. Their parents did come to the field and you recognize them. But at the same time, it's still a football game, and we're trying to win the football game. So, like Coach Oakham said, the external and all the extracurricular activity, the things that surround it, as a coach, they just become annoyances. And kind of thinking that because it's senior night or it's Johnny night and your name's Johnny, you get to play or whatever night it is. To me, that didn't supersede any of our goals as a team that we were trying to accomplish.
Sammy Hayworth's point after is up and good. The Sand Crabs lead Nice High School by a score of 7-0. We'll see the Panthers come out on offense for the first time of the night. Coach Allen, back to some of these games around the area. 5-3, Warner Christian goes to Admiral Farragut, 3-6. Another surprise to me. I've never seen an Admiral Farragut team with less wins than losses.
Problem with Admiral Farragut is they've gone up into 3A, and they're with Melbourne, not with Melbourne, but they're with Clearwater Central Catholic. And I can just tell you right now that is a poison group of 3A football players right there. So don't let that record fool you. They'll be a little better than they think. I would not be surprised to see Warner Christian finish the season 500 and lose that football game tonight. First time in over a decade that there's not a Warner football team ranked in the top 10 at this time of the year. They've got some work to do.
Hayworth set to put his foot into it from the 40. High end over end kick, fielded at the 5. Ooh, oh, nice move.
It was.
That was Cam Adams with the, I think that was B up and triangle, if I'm not mistaken, on the remote.
Wow.
Going back to these games, New Smyrna Beach 1-8. Again, this is like 2014, the year of the surprise records. 1-8, New Smyrna Beach goes to 0-8, Treasure Coast, Coach Oakham.
Treasure Coast has had some marquee names play for them in the last few years. I've never seen them play, but when I opened the paper this morning and saw they were winless, I thought that maybe Coach Allen would want to load up and go down there and see what we can get done.
Let's get it done.
But anyway, I think that Treasure Coast is going to surprise the faltering Barracudas and win the ball game.
Leighton Alley is the quarterback for the Panthers. He hands the ball off to Kenrick Harris, a junior. Their quarterback is a sophomore. Gain of 7 on the play. Make it 8, make it 9. Gain of 9 on the play would be 2nd and 1. Coach Allen, you always say it's a lot easier to call plays when you have 1 yard to go. and it's early.
Absolutely. And the way they created that 1 yard, they just traded their tight end, and 2 Seabreeze players adjusted, and they needed at least one more up there to adjust. And Kendrick, he is a guy, Kendrick Harris, he looks to be about 225.
He is, yeah. He's about 5'9", 220, 225, yeah. And he's packed into that uniform.
2nd and 9 for the Panthers. Alley.
Oh, this
zips
is
the ball far back. I bet you that was. No, it wasn't. But close enough.
Hey, that's B square right there. That's Bubba Ballish. I'm telling you, this guy, he is getting better every week. He just comes off. He sees the out route quick. He just comes off number 1 and just puts a wood on him.
Alley's pass was intended for Ashton Wood. He's only a freshman, coach, so he probably heard the footsteps. Poor kid.
Well, he felt more than the footsteps.
It'll be 3rd and 1 for the Panthers from about their 25-yard line.
Coach, just looking at Nice, they look like they know what they're doing.
Yes, they do.
Line up. I think that's the first thing you need to do. You always hate when they can't line up. You know, and you look ragtag, and you look like everybody's crooked, and you can't get in. And I just never could stand that. And they look good. Their offensive linemen are up there and set. They got some good size. Their schemes appear to be pretty good. And I know that Coach Krause did a great job in his time with Mark Dorson at Bishop Kenny. And well, I'll be interested to see if they can move the ball against this Seabreeze defense, who's been pretty scrappy the last 3 weeks.
The only thing I wish is that the rosters had heights and weights, because I'd love to know what 68 is going on the left tackle.
He's 6'3", weighs 265 pounds.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, when it comes out, I just say gospel. That's what I say. I don't even question.
I'm not questioning. I don't know if he's serious or not.
See?
I'm always serious.
See? That's what.
Were you serious when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor?
I was so serious I didn't know what to do.
I tell you what, they are finding some creases up there.
2nd and 5 for the Panthers, and once again the human bowling ball. Kendrick Harris on the carry picks up the first down for the Panthers as they near the 50-yard line.
Bigger than Bruton at DeLand, and not as big as Olsen at Creek, and Seabreeze had a tough time.
And more athletic than both of them.
Yes, and he had a tough time they had a tough time with both of those backs. You know, we questioned last week, maybe Mainland could just take that heavy set and just go at him and see if Seabreeze could stand it.
Harris loses his footing a little bit, but still picks up 2.5, maybe 3 yards on the play. It'll bring up 2nd down for the Panthers. Nice High School keeping the clock going. That's good, because it's really kind of cold up here tonight, guys.
Well, I tell my kindergartners, check the weather report in the morning. If it's going to be cold, don't wear shorts.
I didn't do her. 2nd down from the Nice 45. Alley's under pressure, and he's finally going to get brought down. I'm going to go ahead and speculate that was number 40, Will Roth, on the tackle. Oh, nobody gives me gospel on that one? Will Roth on the tackle. It was him.
It was Will Roth. Coach Kramer's most aggressive defensive end. He credits his son, Sean Kramer, for coaching him up as a JV player. He said when he got him as varsity player, he was very sound fundamentally and plays extremely hard.
And Coach Kramer's son, Sean, now a GA at Tennessee State.
He and Altman both have played well.
The last couple weeks.
In their little scheme last week to keep the quarterback in there, I thought they were solid.
Alley sits in the pocket, has a receiver. That's Grant Killian on the reception.
It's intercepted.
Intercepted or fumbled?
It had to be fumbled, didn't it? He's still got
number 2 out of bounds about the 30.
That's Rashad Floyd.
I think the ball was well thrown. The receiver turned back. We'll check our instant replay and watch it here. As he leans back and he catches the ball, and then it just comes out of his hands and goes directly into the defensive back's hands, and down the near sideline he goes. And
I got to say that right there is just an example, Billy, of why you have gospel. I don't know what else to tell you. That was it. So let there be no doubt, that was awesome.
Rashad Floyd on the defensive play, and it looks like we're going to have officials timeout
for water. For water.
For
break the ice on the tanks to drink it.
Instant replay.
6 minutes and 17 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Seabreeze up 7-0. We'll be right back.
was an excellent throw.
Welcome back to Municipal Stadium, Larry Kelly Field. Billy Gahagan, Rocky Yoakum, and Steve Allen. Two of us are just along for the ride. It's first and 10 for the Sand Crabs from the Nice 30.
Wheel route.
Oh, they got wide open.
Down.
Or not.
2-yard line.
Okay. Wilson's pass thrown on the wheel route.
Coach Allen was calling for that play when they got off the team bus. We found out they're going to play quarter coverage, and I tell you, that's a tough deal.
Can't play it.
Tough deal.
You just can't. You can't play it.
Marcus Bullard on the reception for the Sand Crabs. It'll be first and goal from the Nice 2-yard line.
Coach, my problem with it, and I coached in some all-star games with some people who want to play that, and Joey Wiles is a big proponent of, that. Too many ifs and buts. If he does this, I do this.
Right.
If he does this, hey, if I can teach you in cover 2, stay on the hash, put this guy as your whole world. Cornerbacks, don't let him get an outside release. Keep leverage. There's no ifs and buts. Now, there might be some holes. It might be a little more vanilla, but you don't give that one up.
No.
You don't give that one up. They'll have to find another one, but it's not that one. That's too easy.
Offsides is going to be the call against the Panthers. And it'll push the ball even closer to the goal line. Or as some announcers would say, closer to the end zone. I like saying the goal line.
As Lou Holt would say, the alumni stripe.
That's right.
Wilson handing the ball off to a number that we haven't called all year long. Number 49. Okay. 19, 48, 19, 38.
30?
19? 19. Yes, 19. Give it to him.
Freshman.
Diarlo Benjamin. Freshman on the touchdown.
There was Coach Beach talked to me about another freshman. It was the Loin or Brody or whatever.
Brody Loin.
He thought he was going to get in the game tonight, and he wanted to see how he was going to respond. Thought that might be a little bit of a...
He's not bad. He and Riley Oldham, they've got a pretty good group of freshmen/JV guys. Sammy Hayworth's point after is up and it's good. Seabreeze leads Nice High School by a score of 14-0. Coach Allen and Coach Yoakum. Coach Allen first. Father Lopez 4-5, your favorite team. At Coach Yoakum's favorite team, Pearson Taylor 4-5. Take it away, guys.
Wow. Pearson Taylor's... they've got the playoffs to look forward to. They're in, and I know that's exciting for the A Train. That's a pretty evenly matched ball game. Having not seen Taylor, let's just say that Lopez has more to play for, and I'll go with Lopez.
Gospel.
I will kind of balance it out there, and since I'm perfect with these guys all year, I'm going to have to go with them one more time. Perfect with them whether you're against them or for them. That's the best part. You're just being honest. When I pick them, that's what they do.
Coach Allen, 3-6 Deltona. Pretty upstart team. They finished third in this district. They go to 7-2 Umatilla. Yeah, Umatilla's got a good little football team. Got a quarterback at thrown for about 2,000 yards. And Evan Henson's not going to play tonight because of an injury to he's got a broken finger, I think. So I like Umatilla in that game, but I will say this, that if there's a group in the area that has a better-looking group of 10th graders, I want to know who they are. No doubt. Deltona's 10th graders impressed me a great deal. At least on the West Coast, because this group over here on the East Coast, they're led by a pretty good sophomore. Their tailback's a pretty good sophomore, but as a collective whole. Collective group, yeah. I don't know if they've got 11. I don't know if they've got 11 of them. I'm sure they probably do. Gotcha. 6-3. 6-3. I lost my place. Tavares. 6-3 Tavares at Pine Ridge. Coach Allen. Anybody at Pine Ridge. Okay, the three of us. That's not nice. It's not nice, but it's very accurate. Coach Yoakum, Orangewood Christian, 1-8. You're good with the small private schools. At Trinity Christian of Deltona, 5-4. Well, I hope that Trinity Christian can finish out on a strong note. I admire the young man that's taken the coaching job there. That's not been an easy task, and I admire him for doing it, and I don't know much about either team, but I'm going to go with the local school. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the rounding out of the final week of the regular season in Volusia, Flagler counties. Hayworth's kickoff was fielded by Jeffy Caesar. He took it up to about the 20-yard line where he lost his footing. Shaken up on the play, and now the Panthers set up shop for their second possession of the game. 5:30 remaining in the first quarter. Seabreeze leading Nice by a score of 14-0. That's Kendrick Harris once again on the carry. He's going to pick up 2 yards. It'll be 2nd and 8.
He looks like a strong runner, but so far I wouldn't classify him as a hard runner. He's come up in there, and when they get a hold of him, he kind of pushes on forward, but he needs to just take that big old body and just slam it into the defensive line and see what's up.
Yep, yep.
Coach Oakham, he's more of a Hoover Owens and not a Jermaine Green. That's pretty good. 2 pretty good backs you've had.
That is pretty good.
Which one is he closest to? Hoover?
I'd say neither.
Okay, there you have it.
I would say, maybe he will be someday. I haven't seen enough of him. We'll see now.
I saw that as well. That's
Looks
definitely
like he lacks some foot speed.
Yes.
Now,
Alley flush from the pocket. He's going to be pushed out of bounds by Will Roth. He's going to pick up about 6 yards on the play. It'll be 3rd down.
Maybe he is slamming it up in there, and that's just as hard as he can slam it. I don't know.
Leighton Alley's impressive to me early on. Not in doing anything crazy. This kid's a 10th grader.
A lot of poise.
Yeah, a lot of poise. And I loved his arm strength when he came off a read on the left side of the field and got his eyes back over to the right side and still put it on the money.
I'll speak for the 3 of us when I say we all miss coaching just a bit, but it's been fun all year to see the different schools come and take on our kids, but it's always good to see how much talent is out there outside of our counties.
And you forget about it. You really do. There you go, Coach Oakham. He'll run over a DB. We got that part established. My man Bubba up there, sticking his nose in there.
Kendrick Harris again on the carry for the Panthers, picks up enough yards for a 1st down. It'll be 1st and 10, Nice High School from their 40-yard line. This is where they were about last time before Alley threw an interception. How dare he?
I don't think he threw the interception. I think the receiver gave away an interception.
Hey, there's no stat that says gave away.
You're right, Billy.
Okay, thank you.
Right.
Thank you. Gospel.
No gospel.
No.
We just don't throw gospel around, Billy. Love you, but
I didn't like you guys anyway.
Yeah.
We like you.
Oh,
we do.
That makes me feel better. Harris on the carry, 4 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 6. Have I mentioned that it's kind of cold up here?
You have.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not keeping track of penalties tonight, so I'll keep track of that twice.
Hey, listen,
thank you.
Coach Oakham did mention that he talked to his kindergartners about how to avoid that issue. Oh, he double pumped it. Still got it. Oh, man.
Nice play by the corner.
It was.
Is that Ballish again?
It is Ballish. I tell you, he's just kind of scrappy. Did a good job last week against those burners because Malin's absolutely got some burners, and he, put himself in good position. They weren't giving up the ball over the top.
Speaking of Mainland, I hope those 2 players, Dotson and help me with the other name.
Hannah.
Get back in here for the playoffs. I want to see Mainland play. If they don't win it all, I want to see them lose with all their good players.
Right. Have the opportunity to do it. I agree with you. Oh, we got the pressure here. There's our man. And nice job the back just staying alive out there.
Yeah. Made a little duck inside, picked up the 1st down on 3rd and 7.
There's something to be said about this sophomore class of quarterbacks, though, too, guys. This guy's a sophomore. Houston's a sophomore. Lane's a sophomore. And the poise from 10th grader. I mean, have either one of you guys had that type of a player out of a sophomore?
I can't remember a sophomore quarterback. I don't remember playing a sophomore quarterback. Might have, but I don't remember it.
Mark Jones was pretty savvy early on, but I don't know if he was athletic as some of the names you just mentioned. I really like what Nice does. I think what they do is very solid. They use everybody in the pass game. And Seabreeze here looks like we might be getting. No, it's no one.
Max Reagan on the reception. Everybody's offsides. Wait, this guy. I think we're going to get an offsides on Seabreeze and movement against Nice. This guy, if he picks up his flag, he's a liar.
Well, I think you're right. I think the defensive guy might have gotten in the neutral zone before the far side tackle moved, and that's not supposed. I mean, in high school football, as soon as he gets in there, it's offsides, as you well know.
I do.
But that's
how about the latest rule of If I'm the defensive player and I look like I'm going to knock your block off,
I got the protection move.
You get the protection move.
It's a little bit
kind
of like quarter coverage.
That's Patsy.
You know, if he does this, you get to do that. I don't know. It's a little iffy.
You'll have to explain that one to me. That's a new one.
Buddy, that is
the needle.
Fun right there.
26, Michael Leslie on the reception. What's that, Coach?
What is this rule that you're discussing?
The rule is if I'm going up against Coach Allen, if I'm on defense, he's on offense. If I give you the move, Coach Allen has the, I was just protecting myself option. And it could still, even though he jumped and I didn't cross the line of scrimmage, I didn't go into the, yes.
I see.
And he gets the, I was just protecting myself. Oh, really?
I think it's, when the defensive line will go ahead and take that free run, he's going to get to the outside and have a play. Seabreeze bringing inside pressure. You got to, I'm not telling anybody how to coach, but you keep living and dying with inside pressure. It's not hard to get to the edge when there's nobody that can run over the top. And Nice is bigger than Seabreeze up front. If they just get bodies on him, Seabreeze is not going to get off of those blocks. Those guys are not little guys up there.
2:27 remaining in the first quarter. Nice still on the move. 3 receivers to the near side.
Coach, did you stand beside the quarterback alley? Because
I'd say he's probably 6'3".
Is he 6'3"?
Yeah. Gospel. You question gospel.
Okay.
He's I'd say he's probably 6'3" and close to 200 pounds, maybe.
And I think Coach Krause, the kid that they had up at when they were at Bishop Kenny, he broke all kinds of records.
I meant to ask you that. Is Krause, has he been a head coach elsewhere?
I don't think so. Okay. I know that he was Mark Dorson's offensive coordinator at Bishop Kenny when that kid was breaking all the records. So obviously he's got an idea.
6 men up front for the Crabs. Here comes Kendrick Harris.
Too easy, Coach. That's too easy. That's 4 yards before you're encountering a red jersey. I think the tackle is just snatching that 5 technique. And
that's Will Roth, I think, over on that side as well. And you don't expect him to get reached that badly.
Roth came up limping a little bit on the play. He's going to stay in. First down and 10 for the Panthers from the Seabreeze 11-yard line.
They're going to measure, it looks like, here. I'm not sure what's going on.
So the down marker probably shouldn't have changed to first down, so we're going to change that back to third.
Coach Gahagan, you're there at school. You see Altman and you see Roth. They list Roth as a 190, and they list Altman as 200. You know how program weights go. So we take 5 or 8 off of there, and we get to the end of the season. Maybe some more. I don't know. How big do you think those guys are? You see them walk around campus.
Matt Roth's daddy. Excuse me. Let me try it again. Will Roth's daddy, Matt Roth. I played with him at Lopez.
Gotcha.
Not a big guy at all. And every time I questioned Will Roth's size, thinking he might have been heavier, the coaches were telling me no, he's actually a lot lighter. At one point he was in the 180s playing defensive end, but he just can't seem to keep it on.
Got it.
Altman, on the other hand, he's every bit of what they say.
Right, and that's my question with these big tackles here. Good job right there, just throwing it away. Great job of coverage by us Crabs.
Flag on the play. Look, we may have a
I'm going to tell you.
Foul coming up.
If it's a personal foul, but if it's grounding, I think it's a poor call, because I think that kid, if he's smart enough and savvy enough to do that, that's not – he's not going to get sacked. I mean, it's not like he's in the grasp. It's not like he's throwing it in the stands.
He was clearly outside the tackles, was he not?
It's an A1 thing here.
Going to wave it off. Good deal. Just need to make sure he still had it.
That's right. I think that Shooter is probably still icing his elbow. I wonder if he was on injured reserve for this week, because
bye week. That's why he was so animated. He just knew he could rest.
The first time he threw the flag, I thought it was Stuff the Magic Dragon when the Magic's firing that T-shirt gun up into the stands.
Right. He was letting it go, man.
And the best part about it was effortless. It wasn't he came up off the ground. He just threw it and it went.
Practice makes perfect.
Forever. Kendrick Harris again on the carry. Looks to be brought down by number 61. That's John Stiggins. It'll be third down, and I don't think there was a gain at all on that play. It'll be 3rd and 10 for the Panthers. Trailing 14-0 as the first quarter slowly comes to a close. We're at 30 seconds and counting.
About 13 or 14 seniors on this Nice team. I think Coach Krause appears to have some young guys he can build around.
Well, last year the Panthers were under the guidance of former Florida Gator Shane Matthews, and if I'm not mistaken, they've had Kerwin Bell too at some point. I mean, has he been up there, or did he just go to Ocala Trinity? And
I think, yeah, I'm not sure. One of those guys is at Jacksonville now.
Kerwin's at Jacksonville. I think that Kerwin's boy might have been there and then transferred to Fletcher as a player. I think may have been what it was.
Bottom line is there's a lot of Florida ties there, especially with that guy that came from there, that came from Florida, who went to school there.
There is. There's no doubt about that. And you know, the staff that was there, the likes of like a Danny Calgould now, he's in Dothan, Georgia. Excellent football coaches. Those guys had some, and the head coach who's now at Creekside, the guy that's at Ponte Vedra was also on that staff. So there were a lot of good football coaches. Some of those coaches shook out of the Joey Wiles coaching tree. So there's a bunch of good ball coaches that have been in through there.
3rd and 10, Michael Cotter.
Oh, nice piece of work, Coach Yoakum.
Henrik Harris.
He's got to work on the finisher.
But
that was a good piece of work, just being patient and then just picking his spot.
What are we going to go? We're going to go for it here. I think you're down 2 scores last game of the season. You're going to go quick, it looks like. Looks like they're going to go quick.
And they're not going to get the playoff.
Not going to go real quick, are they?
And Dunzo. So, at the end of the first quarter, we've been in the first quarter. Oh, we got a free play. And a touchdown.
We got a first down, if not.
Wow.
If it's not a first down.
Yeah, I watched the clock. The clock said 0, but I also saw the referee whistle it for play. So does the referee just not know?
Henrik Harris was on the carry.
I would think the back judge who's doing the play clock would be able to have a vision of the game clock and be aware.
And in equity's sake, I think that you give the Panthers this play. I think they get that play. If that referee points at you as the quarterback, blows it live, says you go with it, you snap it right away. I mean, they didn't wait.
Well, then the other thing that you have to look at is if he blows that play dead and we don't run that play at all, then number 3, their workhorse, doesn't come off the field limping either. He was injured on the play. He's being tended to across the field. It looks like no matter what, we're going to have a change of quarter. At the end of the first quarter, Seabreeze 14, Nice nothing. Welcome back to Municipal Stadium and Larry Kelly Field. Billy Gahagan, Rocky Yoakum, and Steve Allen. We're about to start the second quarter.
The play will stand from the spot of the ball there, so Coach Allen was right. The referee said play ball, and they did. And now Coach Beach is going to...
Coach Gahagan, do we have any information on the point shaving deal? Was that a real thing?
I heard it discussed down on the field before the game today. Still very vague about what's going on, and
I have no idea what either of you gentlemen
Winston is involved in the first half of
I'm
the Louisville
shocked that his name is coming up with anything having to do with being wrong.
Well,
first and goal for the Panthers.
Point shaving would be about the only thing that he could add to his resume that's not already there. He's got an impressive sheet.
He'll be a first-round draft pick.
I don't know.
Nonetheless.
I'm with Coach Oakham on that one. I just think in light of some of the things that have gone on in the NFL and public perception and selling tickets, and
he's still going to play, boys. You can guarantee he's going to be maybe in the CFL for a couple of years. He's going to lie low. He will be in the NFL
before this.
Yes, sir.
Second goal for the Panthers.
Him and Paul Cruz.
And that's Jordan Willis on the carry, touchdown. Nice High School, point after, pending.
Good drive.
I say that tongue-in-cheek, gentlemen, only because the NFL is a league where the guys who do right have a tougher time than the guys who do wrong. If you're rough around the edges, people want you.
But in these last 2 or 3 years, things have gotten different.
I agree. I agree. I think Paul Goodell's under a lot of heat. He's bringing that heat on the owners, who in turn putting it to the general managers, and the general managers are just scrutinizing these guys. And I think that, well, like you said, Coach, he's got to be available to be drafted. He could be incarcerated by the time the draft comes.
Neil Patel's point after is up and good. And with that, the Panthers cut into the 14-0 lead and turn it into 14-7. Sand Crabs on top. 11 minutes and 18 seconds to go in the first half.
Well, if you're a Sand Crab fan, you're not happy about that. But if you're just a general football fan, you like to see a good game. And I'm glad to see that we've got a 7-point game here. It keeps everybody excited.
Point shaving, really?
Yes, the rumor is that a friend of his was betting a large amount of money I believe on Louisville for it to be close enough, not to win, but to be close enough. And I don't know if there are text messages to that effect. If there are, it'll be awful. But I don't know if it's just a rumor at this point, but I do know it's out there.
I read it in an article that was sent to me, and I had just questioned whether that article was true, which is why I brought it up and asked. And it does appear that it is real.
Bubba Ballish.
That time not a true surprise onside, just a combination onside squib kick. Not quite sure why we're doing that.
I think they're afraid of the speed of those deep receivers for Seabreeze. Not sure that it's valid fear, but I believe that must be the reason.
That's Sanders and Stokes, the deep men for the Sand Crabs. It'll be Seabreeze ball, 1st and 10 from their 39-yard line, leading the Panthers by a score of 14-7. Waiting for the snow to fall, gentlemen. Mark it down. 3. Wilson looking to his left, has a receiver open. That's Bullard. Marcus Bullard on the reception. And he may have lost a yard.
I'll tell you, Jermaine Thompson, number 8 here. He's a good-looking corner, Coach.
Yes, he is.
He looks like a
big, rangy kid.
He does have some
looks
range.
like he's got some room to fill out.
2nd and 10, Seabreeze. Once again from their 39-yard line. Wilson looks right, looks left rather, throws right, and once again in and out of the hands of Rashad Floyd.
Well, we've talked about Rashad's body language and how last week in the big rivalry game, how he stood up and played better. His body language was good. I'm seeing a little bit more of the former body language here tonight, and that drop pass is not going to do anything to boost his confidence. I think he's one of those guys you need to get off early. Something good needs to happen for him early.
Now, I believe he had the interception, which I thought might have helped him.
Right.
3rd down and 10 for the Sand Crabs. Wilson fakes the handoff, looking downfield under pressure, steps up, and he's going to pick up About 6 on the play. It's going to be an obvious punting situation for the Sandcrabs. Coach Oakham, I just received a text message, and I was told to tell you hi. This is your life. Steve Seibert is tuning in tonight.
Well, hello, Steve Seibert. Good to talk to you, my friend, or good to hear from you, and I wish you the best. Another Seabreeze faithful.
Sammy Hayworth.
Okay, now we're
nice high spiraling punt.
This is what we're
going to bounce at the 14 and get stopped finally at the 7-yard line. So Nice High School will have 1st and 10 from their 7, trailing Seabreeze by a score of 14-7, 9:49 remaining in the first half. Billy Gahagan, Rocky Oakham, and Steve Allen.
Great kick.
Yep, nice height, good hang time, good coverage. All the things you want out of that punt team. Flip the field if you can. I think we're going to see a heavy dose of number 3 here, Kendrick Harris.
I think Steve
except he's not in the game, so I don't know how much we're going to see him on this play.
How heavy it's going to be?
Yeah,
it's a tackle in over here at the tight end on this side.
Seabreeze is going to call timeout, and as they take it, we will take one as well. 9:49 remaining in the first half. Seabreeze leading Nice 14-7.
That's a
Welcome back to Municipal Stadium at Larry Kelly Field. Billy Gahagan, Rocky Oakham, and Steve Allen. 14-7, Seabreeze High School leading Nice. The Panthers with the 1st and 10 from their 7-yard line. Alley is going to give the ball off to number 15. That's Jordan Willis. If it's number 15, I'll wait for Gospel to tell me yes or no.
I think it is, and I think he's got a little more speed than 3, so he may get to the edge a little quicker even.
Jordan Willis is a young man that Coach Krause talked to me. I asked him before the game, who has to play well for you guys to win, and he was Jordan Willis and 6, Aris Duffy, along with Kendrick, were the 3 guys that he talked about.
2nd and short for the Panthers.
They're just pounding that edge, Coach.
Yep.
Just pounding that edge. They're getting it.
Once again, that's Willis on the carry.
Both of these teams, Bill, as you look at their districts, there's, basically 10 districts in our area that teams play in or whatnot. And, you look at the wins and losses. Their districts are 5th and 8th, respectively, in wins. Both of which, in that 38% wins and 50% wins for the teams in their district.
Harris checks back into the game for the Panthers, and he's going to tote the rock. And he's just going to barrel his way up across the 25 and up to the 27-yard line, where he's 2nd and short for the Panthers. A little bit of a thunder and lightning, or a
right. It's a good
flash and dash, if you will.
I like that.
2nd and 1 for the Panthers. That's Alley and Harris in the backfield. Alley throws to his left, has a receiver.
Good timing on that route.
Yep, good tackle.
22, Josh Parker, a sophomore, on the reception. 1st down for the Panthers. at their own 31-yard line.
Coach Saunier brought the field slam there, the 5 technique crossing the face, and the outside linebacker stepping up beside him and coming. I think that's his little adjustment to try to keep them from getting to the edge there.
A little confusion on the Nice sideline. They're going to get a timeout, and as they take it, we will as well. 14-7 your score. Seabreeze leading Nice, 7:41 to go in the first half. Welcome back to Municipal Stadium, Larry Kelly Field. Billy Gahagan, Rocky Yoakum, and Steve Allen. 14-7, Seabreeze leading Nice. Panthers with the ball from their 31-yard line. This drive started at their 7-yard line. Little pump and go. And Alley had a receiver, just overthrows him. It'll be second down for the Panthers.
Tried to get Balish on the stop and go. I think he rushed that just a bit. I think he had he could have set his feet just for another second there and maybe had a chance, because I believe he had a step.
Second down for Nice High School. And that's Harris once again on the carry. He's going to pick up about 2 yards. Brings up third down and 8.
Going to come with their, looks like their 3-man rush, unless they blitz somebody with him and put another cover guy in there.
Alley zips the ball to a receiver in the middle of the field.
Dunnigan puts the wood on him.
In and out of the hands, which has been very custom for the receivers tonight.
It may be cold down there on the field. You never know.
Mark it. Oh, that was you. Fourth down and 9 for Nice. It's going to be a punting situation back deep to receive for the Sand Crabs. Number 30, Brody Loyne. He's a freshman. Here's your chance to see him there, Coach Allen.
Yeah, I want to see how he does under the big lights. He's had a great little JV season, and I know Coach Beach thinks highly of him and want to give him an opportunity to see. Okay, that's pretty fair.
Fair catch called for at about the 31-yard line. So with 6:47 to go in the first half, and Seabreeze leading 14-7, the Sand Crabs will have the ball first and 10 from their 31-yard line.
Appears to be a pretty good matchup we have here tonight, men.
Yep, I like it.
That's the way football's supposed to be played. A little back and forth.
A little back and forth, a little nip of fall in the air. It's the way you like it.
As the snow continues to fall here in beautiful Daytona Beach. Thank you. I think it's getting colder. Oh, that was a double mark, Coach Yoakum.
No, it's
oh, you took that's one continuation.
Your eyes are just fuzzy.
Oh, I see. Wilson handing the ball off.
Try that freshman again.
It's him. That's our man. And we're going to get a late
face mask, possibly. That thrown from the back, Judge.
That's the shiftiness of freshman running back Brody Loyne.
You just have to press that zone to make it work, and he's pressed it right away, you know.
Yep.
Jeremiah Wilson telling the Seabreeze staff that it's a face mask penalty being called against Nice. Nonetheless, It's going to be first down for the Sand Crabs from their 45-yard line.
I would think that's where I don't understand. I thought that's where he got tackled. I don't know.
It's an A1 thing.
Yeah.
I love A1.
Steak sauce?
Yes, sir. Tastes good on your steaks. First and 10, Sand Crabs from the 45-yard line. 6:33 and counting. Sand Crabs lead by a score of 14-7. Loin again on the carry. Loin into the secondary.
I see why Coach Beach likes him.
Yep.
He's got some quickness, not afraid, sticks it up in there, runs hard. Not very big, but runs the ball hard, hides in there behind those big old linemen, or those linemen.
Either one. Officials timeout on the field for water. 6:18 to go in the first half. Sabres leading 14-7. They have the ball and they're driving. We'll be back. Welcome back to Municipal Stadium. Larry Kelly Field, Billy Gahagan, Rocky Yoakum, and Steve Allen. First and 10, Sand Crabs from the Nice 44-yard line. They lead the Panthers by a score of 14-7. Coach Beach is going to walk into the huddle. Coach Beach is going to call this play from behind the quarterback.
I'm not sure I've never seen two coaches come out to each other in the middle of the game.
I've not either seen this, and
too bad we don't have a sideline reporter that could run out there and find out just what's going on.
when we would have wanted that would have been last week when Coach Beach found out that they did not have the ball and he had his offense on the field. And I did mention to Coach Beach that we got a big kick out of waiting to see his reaction, as we already knew what was going on before he did.
Well, one thing we can be sure of is the fact that it's 1st and 10, Sand Crabs. Loin on the carry. He's going to pick up about 3 yards and be met by a whole bunch of Panthers. That'd be a pack of Panthers, probably. Oh, righty then.
Pride, no,
Pride.
Lions.
The Lions are Pride, a pack of Panthers.
Pelicans are a squadron.
Second down. Second down for
the human.
The Sand Crabs.
I'm a wealth of worthless knowledge.
Wow, you're the useless knowledge guy. The
Yes,
UKG. Wilson's going to try it again to Floyd. This time he's going to catch the ball. Break a tackle or two and take it down to the 25-yard line.
Yeah, sure did.
Seabreeze got a little something going here with 5:29 left. They're going to go quickly. That wide out.
We're going to try option. Brody Loin is going to take the pitch from Wilson and take the ball down to the 20-yard line, or it will be third down. Excuse me, second down.
Your safety, Harris Duffy there, he's got to come to balance there and get a better piece. You can't come there and miss and give that guy the cutback going north and south. Brody doesn't seem to have any problem taking the football north and south, and that's what you love to see, especially in a young back.
Clock continues to roll. Second down and 5 for the Sand Crabs.
think Seabreeze would like nothing more than to score here with a very little time left on the clock and make it a 2-score deal. Good C right there, Bob. I tell you what.
Lloyd on the carry. He's going to take the ball down to the 11-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 Seabreeze.
He may have had to find his way up here to this thing a little quicker. You knew he could do this kind of thing. He's been impressive.
Got good vision, no hesitation in what he decides to do, and great effort once he hits up in there.
Well, and that's the thing. He's not afraid to go up in the briar patch, and it's not a good thing if the running back doesn't want to do that. Makes your offensive lineman better.
Wilson on 1st down, fakes the handoff to Loin. Flush from the pocket, rolls to his left, has the receiver. That pass is caught. And the receiver is going to be brought down at about the 1-yard line. That's Scott Summers on the reception.
That's that number 6 that you mentioned, Horace Duffy, needed to play well. Certainly made a touchdown-saving tackle there.
Yes, he did.
Out of the end zone. So they're going to take him out, but that's 8 going out of the game.
Xavier Adams now into the game for the Sand Crabs. Bit of a heavy set. Loin on the carry. That's his first varsity touchdown. Touchdown, Seabreeze.
Acts like he's been there.
Yeah, it took the words right out of my mouth. Act like you've done it before. That's so good.
Good for him.
Yep.
So add a 9th grader to our young player watch in the county, Brother Brody.
Sammy Hayworth in to attempt the point after. Bad snap, but and not down in time. Hayworth misses the field goal.
That's his first miss of the year.
Not his fault. Yes, it is. 3:43 to go in the first half. Seabreeze now leads by a score of 20-7. We'll be back. Welcome back to Municipal Stadium and Larry Kelly Field. Billy Gagan, Rocky Yoakum, and Steve Allen, Seabreeze, and Nice. I almost said Pine Ridge. 20-7, the Sand Crabs lead the Panthers.
Same colors, different execution level.
No doubt. Much different record.
Not by much. Hayworth set to kick off. And that ball's going to be fielded at the 5. Here come the Panthers. He's got a blocker or two. He's going to come near side.
Oh, hello.
Greetings, Walter. That's quite a shot right there.
Latavius Sanders introducing himself to Jeff D. Caesar.
Rather rudely.
Hello. Kind of surprised in the crowd. Must be because it's cold. Thank you. 1st and 10, Nice from the 35-yard line. Alley looks to his left. It's going to come back to his right. Has an open receiver.
I'm telling you, I'm impressed with this young man, Coach. He does a nice job. It's the second time tonight he's scanned the field and come back to a secondary type receiver and put it on the money.
They know they're going to have to kind of hustle around here. About 3 minutes to go in the first half.
I think they've got time here. They're going to have to manage it, though.
Cotter on the reception, takes the ball across the 50 and down to the Seabreeze 49-yard line. Clock is rolling.
2 uncovered right here, pretty quick like.
Harris on the carry. Pickup of 4, 3.5, maybe 4 on the play. Bring up second down.
I'd like to see Kendrick have better feet at impact. Usually the guy, we talk about the first feet on impact is going to win most collisions, and he seems that once that first collision takes place, he's leaning forward, but his feet aren't continuing to go.
That's right. Move your feet.
Kendrick again on the carry. He's going to get wrapped up by one of your guys. Wrapped up by number 7. That's Cole Dunnigan.
I'd say they're in 4-down territory here. I'm going to go out on a limb, Bill. So they're out in 4-down territory here.
I'm going to walk out on that limb with you. The branch might break with me out there, but I'm going to be there with you. And the good thing for them is there's enough time. If they score, they get the ball first to start the second half, so it'll be a big turnaround for them. Alley under pressure does a good job of eluding it and crosses the 45 down to the 44. It's going to be 4th down, and we're going to call it 5.
I keep getting.
Oh yeah, that's not a very good spot at all. They have him down at the 47.
Well, this referee here, the side judge from the far side, came down. He thinks it's across the 45-yard line, and they've told him go back to your side,
buddy.
I think when he was falling down, he must have placed the ball down before he fell forward.
He must have done something
because that's a huge difference.
4th down. It is 4-down territory.
Looks like they need about 7. Long 7.
Let the clock go down and then call timeout. There we go. Nice calls timeout with 1:15.
And they call the punt team out. They were bluffing.
But you still get credit because they were in 4-down territory. It was 4-down territory. They just changed their mind.
Thank you. You're too good to me. And you knew that.
Somebody's got to be, right?
That's right. Somebody's got to be.
Coach, I watched Bobby Bowden use all of his timeouts on a situation like this in the swamp. One time Spurrier kept changing his punt team and his offense, and he did this, and when they thought they were going to switch it right at this second right here, they ran the offense back out. Florida State burns a timeout. Then they leave the offense out. They put their defense out. Then they run the punt team back out, and they made them use 2 of them up. And I tell you what.
How about the shenanigans that the New England Patriots pulled last week, where they were set up for their punt team, and then they ran everybody off. They brought the offensive unit on. Well, the defense was ready. They were playing Denver, and the officials stood over the ball until Denver had all of their defensive players on the field.
I know.
That's the new rule. Yeah. Another precious rule of I don't want to hurt your feelings and have you undermanned. That ball's going to hit the 21, and Seabreeze will have the ball with 1:08 to go in the first half. Up by 13, 20-7 over Nice. Billy Gahagan, Rocky Yoakum, and Steve Allen from Municipal Stadium. Senior night for the Sand Crabs. You guys aren't fan favorites of this type of a game, but you love the fact that it's a football game, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, and it took me a long time to recognize that there's other activities than the football game, and it's important that parents who've done to get their children to this park to be walked out and recognized before the game is awesome thing. We used to do it at halftime, and I'm glad they've smartened up and started going before the game with it, even though there's nobody here to see them.
1st and 10, Seabreeze from their 20-yard line. Wilson looking to his right. Flush from the pocket. It's going to throw on the run. Pass is caught at the 35-yard line. It looks like it's number 80.
1 minute.
It's Nick Nerschel.
84, I believe.
Is it 84 or is it 88? It's no 84. It's got to be 88, Anthony Blake.
Okay.
I'll give you that one.
Thank you.
My pleasure. 1st and 10, Seabreeze on the move. That's Wilson. Going to throw the deep ball to his left. He has Summers. Summers gets tied up with the defensive back, and it's in and out of his hands. Incomplete. 2nd down.
One of the few times that we've seen that ball thrown for the Crabs, and 4 times maybe we've seen them this year.
Throw the ball 30 yards down the field. Yep.
But it's a pass that we've seen him throw in in the past because it's from the far hash across the field. What was it, against Mainland last week where we saw him throw from hash to sideline?
I don't think arm strength is an issue with this young man.
2nd 10 for the Sandcrabs. Clock stopped at 51 seconds to go. And just out of the reach.
As good as the last swing route was, that one was that bad. He really put that last one on the money over here and let his guy catch it in stride and run with it and put that one just out of reach.
Freshman Diarlo Benjamin was the intended receiver. It'll bring up 3rd down for the Sandcrabs.
Crabs appear to have a couple young kids up here playing some ball tonight.
Screen to Loin, and that pass will fall incomplete, bringing up a 4th down for Seabreeze.
First time tonight that Brody's looked like a freshman.
Yep.
Hoping to have Seabreeze principal Bob Wallace join us at halftime.
I confirmed that before the game. He will be here.
Gospel.
The only thing he insisted upon were no tough questions.
Well, then I'm not interviewing. It's all you, Coach Oakley.
I told him we had some bears for him.
He did know who was up here, right?
Hayworth gets the punt off, almost blocked, and takes a punter's roll. It'll be down at the 23-yard line. 33 seconds remaining in the first half. Seabreeze leading Nice by a score of 20-7. Panthers have to get on the board. They have to do something to score 7, get 7 out of this, and get the ball first in the second half. That's what I have to say.
Yeah, 33 seconds.
I don't think they'll score. They may not even try.
Oh, they're going to try.
Okay.
You guys might get the second half because I got to go to my car.
Why?
Allie under pressure. That looks odd. I'm not saying why.
I think you
inferred
it.
Will Roth on the sack. And again, Will Roth is shaking up on the play.
Perhaps.
15 seconds and counting. This, my friends, will be where Nice does not get a playoff. Will Roth comes flipping off the field. That's it. First half comes to a close. Seabreeze leads Nice High School by a score of 20-7. When we come back, we'll talk to Seabreeze principal, Mr. Bob Wallace.